How you doing, fight fans? It's Timmy Shoes with Inside Fighting, and I've got an amazing guest with me here today. One of the most exciting welterweights rising through the ranks right now, Bryan Battle. Bryan, thanks for being here. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing tremendous, doing sensationally. Thank you for having me today, brother.
Good to talk to you. Now you've got an upcoming fight at UFC Vegas 88 against Ange Loosa. I'm guessing you're in the middle of the camp because we're only a month out. How's training going? How's the camp going?
Training's always gone good. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I have time to prepare, as much time as I've had to prepare. You know, it's been slow, it's been methodical, it's been tedious. You know what I'm saying? It's been grueling, but right now I'm an absolute machine. I'm an absolute unit. You know what I'm saying? I'm the by far the scariest version of myself I've ever been. So on that note, training's been amazing. You know what I'm saying?
That's great to hear because I think you're one of the most exciting guys. You really endeared yourself to fans quickly because you put on amazing fights. No Bryan Battle fight is boring, and you've really become a finisher. I was watching back some of your highlights, and one of the things that really impressed me is how calm you are under pressure. Like when you fought Urbina, he had you pushed up against the cage. Then all of a sudden, you flipped the position and you choked him out. Gabe Green, he came charging at you and you stood in the pocket and knocked him out. A lot of guys, maybe they try to escape laterally and recenter. You said, no, we're chilling in the pocket. You knocked the dude out in 14 seconds, I think it was. Is that something you train for, that calmness under pressure, or is that something that comes naturally?
Um, I would say it's a little bit of both. Just who I am. You know, this is something that benefits me in fighting. It doesn't benefit me in life. In some ways it benefits me in life. I'm very in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I don't think too much about what's happened. I don't think too much about what's going to happen necessarily. I'm just very like what's happening right now. What's in front of me. You know what I mean? Um, and so with that, that allows like during fights, I'm quick to forget bad things that have happened
Mhm.
necessarily. I'm not like necessarily gonna let that stop me unless it's something where it's like okay, I probably shouldn't let that happen again. But and I'm not necessarily thinking too caught up on what's gonna happen down the line. It's like what's happening now? What are we doing right now? But I would say on the flip side of that, training wise, I've always like I got into the game very late, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had a lot of catching up to do. And so, just regardless, you're gonna spend your fair share amount of time in like bad positions, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how many times I've spent like if the grappling round was 7 minutes, I spent 6 minutes just like fending for my life. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
especially now in the UFC. So if I go somewhere around here, with the best intentions, people are trying to kill me no matter where I go. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, hey, it's not like a malicious thing. It's just like they're on high alert. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this guy's you know what I'm saying? So when I'm in a bad position in the fight, there's very rarely ever a position where I haven't been in it before in training. So it's that is also a big part of like why I'm able to like kind of remain calm and do the right things. Like in the Gilbert fight, it was simple. He came in, rushed, got the takedown, was throwing flurries. And it was just about okay, come on, do the right thing. You gotta get out of mount, start working your way back up. And it's like boom, boom, boom like against Gabe. That's a great one. He came in with that flurry,
Yeah.
but he was throwing arm punches. You know what I'm saying? He was just so
Mhm.
concerned with volume. He wasn't really actually turning his bodies into his punches. So I felt one of his punches, and that's when I knew there was no reason to go anywhere because I was like, okay, I'm
Right.
gonna get my feet set. I'm gonna slip. I'm gonna fade, slip, and then come back with this right hand. And you know, once again, just being in position and doing the right thing will get you pretty far in the fight game. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll say like I definitely had to, not to make a short question, a super long answer. I've definitely had to overcome because I'm not the most. I'm athletic, I would say, compared to like the normal person. I'm athletic in like unique ways, but there's definitely been a speed and strength and size disadvantages that I've like gotten used to dealing with. And so, when you're constantly dealing with those things, you're kind of forced to, learn composure. It's either, you learn how to compose yourself and deal with bad situations, or you just
Right.
crumble underneath every bad situation. So, and then you have to avoid bad situations. And I'm an aggressive guy, so I don't want to avoid bad situations. I want to know how to deal with them so that if it does, worst case scenario, I know what I'm doing. I know how to get out of there.
Well, it's really impressive that you were able to make those reads and respond so well because, as you mentioned, you got a late start. I saw you tweeted someone asked something like, "I'm 18 years old. Is it too late for me to start in MMA?" You didn't start until you were 21, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. No, I was 21, um, right at 300 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in community college working at Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Like, just it was really a bucket list thing. And I got in there and just fell in love with it. So yeah, no, I got a super duper late start, but I think it's benefited me in certain ways.
Well, that's really impressive. And I want to point out there's another guy who got a relatively late start, even later than you, Alexander Volkanovski. He started at 22, and people already consider him one of the greatest of all time. He's fighting this weekend at UFC 298. I know he was your coach on Tough, which you won. I wanted to ask you how you think the fight between Volk and Topuria plays out.
Well, yeah, like you said, I'll always be biased towards Volk. You know what I'm saying? Like Volk is the man. He was such a great coach. Just and I won't ever like not mention like his demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he was during practice sessions, the way they made sure that they would do their practice sessions so that it would end as we were walking in. So it's every day we walk in for training. They're training before us, so they're not bullshitting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're life too. You know what I mean? And against Topuria, like people are kind of holding the Islam losses against Volk a little bit, and I think they're talking about his age a little bit. But let's not forget. I mean, he arguably won the first fight against Islam, and the
Right.
second fight on what, like a week's notice? Like it was on something, or 2 weeks notice. It was something goofy. You know what I
I
mean?
think it was a week and a half.
Yeah, a week and a half, and a week and a half to go up a weight class and to fight arguably the best fighter on the planet, not just the champion in the next division,
Right.
like arguably the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. That's a lot of obstacles to overcome. So and at his own weight, even if he has a full fight camp against Islam, I'm taking him in that fight. But at his own weight, Topuria is really good. Topuria is really good. Good grappling, good strong grappling. Um, Nice with the boxing. But from what I've seen, he does have some tendencies that he's been able to get away with. That Volk is just way too smart. Like he's very cerebral. Like when he talked to us about his fight with Max Holloway, the way that kind of like how you talked about, I was breaking things down, the way he was breaking it down, and the way they were going back and forth with their different strategies during the fight. Um, I don't think Topuria has seen something like that, you know what I'm saying, or had to
Right.
deal with someone who can really, really change up their whole game on the fly if they feel like it's more advantageous for them to fight a certain way. So, strength wise, he's going to be, Josh Emmett's definitely a super strong dude, but I think Volk is very strong. He's not going to be someone Topuria can just, bulldoze over. Speed wise, like Volk is like surprisingly quick. Um, yeah, I think Topuria, he's very confident, as he should be. He's been great so far. I think he was fighting anyone other than Volk. I think, he'd be the new champ, but Volk is a little bit too much, you know what I'm saying? Especially coming off a loss. Like I think
Right.
people are banging him because he just lost, but I think him coming off a loss is going to make him more motivated going into this fight. Like Topuria is not going to catch him sleeping, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to catch
Right.
him slack like that.
I tend to agree. I wanted to ask you because you mentioned how confident Topuria's been. He's gotten a lot of fans because of how confident he's been. He's promising a knockout. He already put UFC champion in his bio. And so there's a swath of fans who are really buying into it. And then there's other fans who are like, he's setting himself up for the fall. What do you make of that confidence? Because I know fighters, you have to be confident, you have to believe in yourself. But do you think Topuria is, putting the cart before the horse a little bit?
Um, No, no, to be in my humble opinion, I know just speaking on myself, I've gotten to where I've been by being a little irrational, to do what he's trying to do, you have to like believe it deep down inside. So if you really believe it deep down inside, you know what I'm saying, you would do something like put UFC champ. Like that's not everyone's cup of tea. Like not everyone likes to rile up their opponents, but if you're that confident, if you believe in yourself that much, um, then I think it's more advantageous to express yourself because then when it's all over, you know what I'm saying, some people might clown you for it, but on the flip side, if you pull it off, the amount of people that are going to praise you for it, I think that's now. Granted, I think Volk's going to win. You know what I'm saying? I do think he's going to, have to take that off of his bio. But as a fighter, honestly, I understand where he's coming from. You gotta kind of be like that a little bit if you're going to do something like he's going to do, or knock off one of the top pound for pound fighters, on the
Right.
planet.
Right. I think that's something fans underestimate, just how much confidence you have to have in a sport like this. So speaking of that, I don't know if you're a guy who gives predictions, but how do you see the fight with Ange Loosa going in March?
I don't see it getting out of the second round, to be honest.
Beautiful. So what can we expect? Is it going to be the hands? You're going to choke him out? You're going to get one of those head kicks like you got against Shota? Sato, I mean
Well,
Sato.
yeah, Sada, well, against super explosive guy, you know what I'm saying? Super tough. Um, and so I'm really just we're gonna figure out how tough he is, you know what I'm saying? I'm really gonna push the pace on him. I'm gonna try to melt him. I'm not planning on shooting on him. I'll say that much. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not afraid to choke him out, but if I do submit him, it's gonna be because he started the grappling exchange. You know what I'm saying? I'm very
Right.
confident. Like I could take him down if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to be a grappling match, I could make it a grappling match. But with that being said, I'm pretty confident he's going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's just the trend. You know what I'm saying? You look at everyone who fights me, everyone shoots. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
if we exchange for a little bit, I don't see me connecting with something and him not. If he's still awake after I connect, not being like I got to shoot on this guy right away. You know what I mean? So, super dangerous, super explosive guy. Definitely the best guy I've fought since I've been in the UFC. So I'm like really excited. It's got me fired up. I'm training as hard as I've ever trained. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't see it getting out of the second.
Beautiful. I love that prediction. I love the way you broke it down. I love it when guys are like, I'm not gonna shoot unless I have to. So Bryan Battle, thank you for joining me. Fans, tune into his fight at UFC Vegas 88 in March. It's going to be a banger. Very excited to see where you're